I see familiar faces. I'm very happy to see you here. Miss you a lot. To all my ex-students and also current students, we miss you a lot. And this was just an interesting way to keep in touch with you. So I will share my video so that you have the preview of the different slides I prepared for you. And in case you have trouble in sounds or whatever, if I just use the chat, and feel free to intervene with the microphone too. Okay, so just feel free to interact with me, because usually I don't like speaking alone in front of a screen, especially now here at Babylon. So just feel free, okay, to interact with me. Okay. So positive feedbacks from the screen. Do you see it?
Okay, it's fine.
Yes?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so first of all, I would like to show you two of my mugs. Okay, so this is my favorite mug. I don't know, I hope that girls recognize it as Chip from The Beauty and the Beast. And this is the second one. I don't know if you recognize it. Any ideas? So I'm just waiting for your comments. If you
I'm not sure they all can see you in this moment, because
okay.
I see the desktop, the presentation you have. So maybe, okay, now it's fine.
Okay, so this was number one. And this is Chip from The Beauty and the Beast, okay? And the second one is this one. I don't know if you recognize it. Any ideas? It's from a very famous TV sagas. Yes, is the sorting hat. Sorting. To sort means to divide, to classify, and it's from Harry Potter, okay? So it was used and it was put here, okay? And Harry Potter and the other characters, okay, were just divided, classified, okay, into different groups, okay? So this is just to introduce the challenge that you have to do at the end of this presentation. If you want to take a picture of you and your favorite mug, and you just can send it, okay, to Babylon, so we can create a different collection of photos, pictures of you and your favorite mug. Is that clear? Is the challenge here, okay? So think about your favorite mug, okay? So we can start. Okay, so this is a very British way to say fancy a cuppa. That means, would you like a cup of tea? So instead of using the classic way of, would you like a cup of tea? When you offer a cup of tea, you can use fancy. Fancy means like, okay? So you can say, I fancy this, I fancy that. So if you say fancy a cuppa, this is a very kind of idiomatic expression, quite colloquial, and it can be used to offer a cup of tea, okay, cuppa. So a very interesting word I would like you to learn and to keep with you at the end of this presentation is tapidophobia. Any ideas of what can be the potential meaning of this word? You can't use Google, okay, so it is just about assumptions and guessing. So just make a guess, have a guess. What is the origin of tapidophobia? It's a very new word, not common. If you just look it up in the dictionary, in a paper dictionary, you won't find it because it's very new. So I'm just waiting for your assumptions, okay, in the chat. Any ideas? Okay, so it's not fear of tea, but good guessing, Hayley. So yes, perfect, Elena, you got it. Okay, so it has not to do, okay, nothing to do with the ideal warmth. Okay, so hot tea or cold tea. So it has nothing to do with the temperature. and we associate the idea of tepido because in Italian, tiepido is mild, okay, not too hot, and phobia is when you're scared of something. So if we mix together these words, we get the wrong meaning. Tepidophobia is exactly the fear of receiving or making a cup of tea that is not good enough, okay? So that is not living up to your expectations, okay? So if you are a supporter, a fan of tea, you can suffer for tepidophobia. So you make a tea and you are scared that that tea is not good enough, right? Does it make sense for you? Okay, so the definition was perfect. Let's move. The presentation will be divided into two different sections. The first one is how to experience tea in London, and the second section is tea and literature. I will not only be speaking about tea and literature, but I will also give you some quotes, inspirations, and idioms connected to tea. But before, okay, let's use some practical let's create some practical situations. You are in London, and one of the best experience in London is trying tea, hot tea. The tricky fact is that there are two different types of sections of tea. You can have the afternoon tea and you have the high tea. Okay, people usually think about, and they have some sort of mistakes, okay, when they think about these two ceremonies. So let's take a look at what are the main differences between the afternoon tea and the high tea. But before analyzing that, let's speak about tea. What are the famous brands you reconnect and you associate with tea apart from the aforementioned here? Any ideas, famous brands of tea? Leading producers of tea? Okay, Twinings. Lipton, yes. Twinings, okay. Star, okay. What's the name of the Italian one? The Italian leading producer and manufacturer of tea? Okay, we have Pompadour that is also producing specialty versions. Anything else? We have also Bonomelli, right? That produces not only chamomile but also hot tea. Okay, here, okay, you have a list of, I have imagined, okay, what would British people answer to me in case I've asked, what is your favorite brand? You have Tetley, PJ Tips, Yorkshire, and Twinings. Do you know any of these? Any familiar brands? Okay, last one, okay. So Twinings, okay, is the most famous. But of course, we are not only looking at the brands that we already know, but just taking a look at the high variety of different specialties and types of tea. So in the first picture here, you can see the different ingredients and flavors of tea produced by Twinings. Then you have Yorkshire tea that is very traditional. What is an invitation for you? I invite you, I recommend you to go to YouTube and watch some TV commercials where these products are advertised. And it's a very interesting way to listen to slogans, taglines, and also musics, because as we have for Italian products, as we watch TV and we have plenty of different TV commercials, you can also take a look at the TV commercials that are always original, entertaining, and you can learn English as well. So just jot down the names of these four leading producers, and in case you have spare time, go to YouTube and find the TV commercials of these four brands. By the way, what is your favorite flavors? Are you traditional? Do you prefer just the plain black tea, green tea? Do you have any flavors or are you interested in tasting new flavors? Because now that we are in quarantine, we can take advantage of ordering from Amazon special different flavors. So let's read, what are your flavors? Strong taste, okay. Ginger, okay, very, very uncommon. Black tea, lemon, okay. Do you use lemon? Do you cut lemon into slices in order to add a little bit of more taste to your tea? Earl Grey tea, this is a must, okay, very, very British, the Earl Grey tea. Lemon and ginger, okay. Vanilla, okay, right. If you take a look at the presentation, you have other different flavors. You have mango and strawberry. You have, if you take a look at the PJ tips, they also give special names to the tea flavors in order to attract you as a client a little bit more. So a boost of energy, what you need. So they give special names, okay, to sound more interesting to the clients. Mint, okay. Thank you for sharing. Okay. So here you can see the first type of ceremony, that is the afternoon tea. Pay attention to some of the details presented here in this slide, because I will ask you some questions to revise together, and you have to pay attention to that. So what can you see in the first circle here? How would you describe this type of food here? So let's use some vocabulary connected to food. Okay, scones. And they are filled, right? We have something inside. What is used to stuff them? What are the ingredients? Okay, it looks like cheese, butter, okay. What is the red one? The red liquid, kind of liquid. Strawberry jam, okay. Perfect, so yes, they are scones, okay, with jam. And it's not butter, it's a special cream. And it's called, I don't know if you can take a look at the presentation, clotted. Yes, perfect. So this is a very special, okay, meal. And you have 3 courses, okay? And you combine sweet and salt and sour and different salty food. So you have, as you can see, these special scones. And then what do you have in the second picture? How would you describe the second picture? Okay, salmon. So we have bread. We have in the middle a special way of cooking an egg. And this is because, again, you combine different tastes, okay, different flavors together. So this is called the afternoon tea. And then the afternoon tea after the first with scones, okay, and different sandwiches and different savories, you get back to the sweet ones, and you have pastries. If you take a look closely, you will see that we have fruit, chocolate, caramel. So you have a very long ceremony, and everything must be bite-sized. An idea of the meaning of bite-sized, synonyms or other ways to describe that the portion and the size of everything we are going to eat must be bite-sized. How would you describe it without translating? Finger food? Yes, that you eat within a single bite. Okay, so it is not supposed to be requiring any kind of cutlery, no forks, no spoons. This is the idea, but of course, then we can have our hands, okay, to help us. So this is the afternoon tea. if you go to different restaurants and special patisserie or bakeries, they prepare for you the afternoon tea. So this is combined with hot tea, and you eat a lot. This is the idea. Let's go to the second part. The high tea. The high tea is even harder, okay, to be eaten, because not only you have finger food, not only you have very small portions of food, but you have 30 dishes. You have meat, potatoes, baked beans, tart, salads, and jam. Which of these different dishes would you pick first? So let's imagine that we are all having this high tea together. Which would be your first choice? So let's say that the first one is bacon. Okay, so we go like 1, 2, 3, okay, then 4 with the eggs, and the last one is the tart. So I'm curious to read your comments. Okay, none of that. Okay, so this is not your taste. Okay, tart. Any special ingredients in the tart? Hayley? You can use the microphone. You can switch off the mic. Just switch on the microphone. Potatoes and meat here. The one in the middle, okay, with eggs. Toast.
Hello.
Hello.
I really miss having high tea, and I love salmon tarts. They're so delicious.
Okay, thank you for the recommendation. So this is the idea of high tea. So let's go to the origin and to the history of this afternoon tea and high tea. Let's see what are the differences. So here you have two pictures, okay? So the two different pictures are showing if this is the afternoon tea or the high tea, okay? So whether it is one or the other. And then in the colored circles, you have characteristics that I will reveal at the end if they belong to the afternoon tea, if they are describing the afternoon tea or the high tea. So it's a sort of game, okay? So I will read one and you tell me if according to you this is the high tea or the afternoon tea. Okay, so tea time. Okay, so let's take a look at the time. So it is around 4 p.m. What do you think? Is it the afternoon tea or the high tea? And especially justify your answer. So 4 p.m. What do you think? Around, okay, so it is not sharp or sharp, but around. Any ideas? The afternoon. Any special reasons? Could you please justify your answer? Afternoon. Yes, I'm curious about the answer, the reasons, just to know what sort of idea. If you already knew that, if you're guessing, if it is a random choice. So we have a lot, okay, of afternoon. Okay, so that we eat less. Okay, so the afternoon tea, okay, is around 4 p.m. But what's the reason of, let's go to the green one, okay, where we have around 5, okay, till 7 p.m. This is the high tea. And remember this information because at the end we will question ourselves for the reason why these different ceremonies have been set and scheduled into these two different timetable. Let's go to the purple one. Okay, it started out in 1840s. Okay, so it is a very old tradition. And because this duchess, okay, wanted a small bite between lunch and dinner, afternoon or high tea. So we have this origin, okay, of this duchess interested in having a break, okay, between meals. Any ideas? Afternoon or high? Yes, afternoon again. Okay, so this is the idea, not eating too much. This is the ratio. So when you think about the afternoon tea, it's a small afternoon because you can take a break in the working day. That's perfect. This is the idea. So people used to stop for a while, drinking something very fast, and then going back to work. So this is the reason why in the gray circle we have it was meant to nourish after a long day at work. This is the high tea. So this is the reason why we have completely different dishes, completely different ingredients, because the purpose, the functions of the two ceremonies are completely different. And then let's go to the last one that is obviously related to the afternoon tea because of the name. It is called low tea since they were enjoyed on low tables with comfortable chairs, sofas in the drawing room. So let's go to the setting. In the first picture where we have this low tea, we have relaxed people, part of the aristocracy, and they're taking their afternoon tea just as a way to relax and chat and chill out. On the bottom of the page, on the corner, we have a family gathering together in front of a table, and as they were eating and drinking tea and having the ceremony, sitting down in high chairs, in high tables, this is the reason for the name high tea. Okay, so now you know what are the main differences, okay, between the afternoon and the high tea. Have you ever tried one of these two ceremonies? Have you ever been sitting down in front, I don't know, of an important museum in London and treat yourself with these sort of ceremonies? Any contributions, any experiences? Have you ever entered a hotel, especially hotels? They offer these opportunities to tourists, and you can sit down. Some of the hotels just give you clothes, so you can dress up, and you can go back to the Victorian period and drink tea with porcelains and china cups. Okay? Any questions? Okay. So we have completed the first section, and we go to the second one that is interesting, I suppose, for you. I hope for you. So do you recognize this character? It's from a very important and relevant piece of literature. I want to name, if you recall the name of the work, maybe the writer. Alice, yes, in Wonderland. Okay, we have also the writer, the author. Okay, what's the name of this creature? What's the name of this animal? It's not an animal, it's a speaking animal. Mad Hat. So it's a rabbit. Yes, it's not the Mad Hat. How is it called? I don't know if you know that in Italian. Any ideas? Okay, so you have here, okay, the name, the March Hare. Okay, and in Italian it sounds very similar. Okay, some more in the chat. Lepre, yes, this is the translation. La lepre marzolina, this is the translation in Italian. Okay, so it's from March. Okay, so we have this very remarkable scene that is also used by, has been used by Twinings. If you go to YouTube, as I had recommended to you before, if you go to YouTube and you look for the commercial for Twinings, you will see that the setting is Alice in Wonderland. So they have selected the atmosphere and the different clothes and characters from Alice. So here, that's the Hatter that is speaking, and the March Hare and Alice, and they are offering to her some hot tea. And it's very funny because this is the offering. Take some more tea, is the March Hare speaking very earnestly, that is honestly. And she replies, I've had nothing yet, so I can't take more, because the March hare is saying take more, but as she hasn't drunk yet, she's not supposed to drink something more. And then we have a philosophical quotation that is, it's very easy to take more than nothing. So if you have read this book, it's quite complicated because of the language used, but also interesting and very challenging for an English reader. Yes, Scottish. Okay. Yes, thank you. So this is chapter 7. If you're curious, just go and look for the extract, okay, from the portion, the section of the text. The other one is this one. I don't know if you know Henry James. He is a famous modernist, and he wrote Portrait of a Lady. Have you read Portrait of a Lady? Do we have any readers of Portrait of a Lady? Ritratto di signora, this is the translation. Okay, Henry James was half American, half British, because he was born in America, but he decided to set off and live forever in the UK. So for this reason, he got the double possibilities of living UK nationalities and citizenship. And he writes about Isabel, that is one of the strongest female characters, okay, in the American literature. And she is traveling from Europe to America. She is quite rich, and she is in the position of selecting different boys. So she has a variety of choices, okay, to settle down and to marry. And the opening of this Portrait of a Lady speaks about, and we have here, that under certain circumstances, there are few hours in life more agreeable than the hour dedicated to the ceremony known as afternoon tea. So this is a way in which the afternoon tea is described as a very remarkable and important ceremony. And it is also described as a situation delightful. So we have a long experience, a long tradition of mentioning and describing the tea ceremony in literature. Okay, so if you're curious about the plot of this book, take a look at the plot, and I suggest you to read this. It's not very difficult, and it's new and interesting. The last one is not a quotation from any kind of books, but is a curiosity. This is inspiration. I was speaking to you at the beginning. If you go to this website, and I will give to Riccardo the slides if you want to just take a look at them a little bit more carefully, you can Google this. It's novelty themes. It's a interesting, uncommon idea for giving presents and buying something for people that are about to have their birthdays. So what do? They create these special themes in which they modify, they change famous titles from books, and they insert inside this box different flavors and tea bags. So not only you have the picture of Earl Grey, so you're just mocking the title of Picture of Dorian Gray, but you can have the combination between tea for a person who is very keen on drinking tea, and on the other side, you can also play with the titles. Another example is this one. Fried, and instead of having prejudice, you have peppermint. So they also give you the possibility of personalized and customized tea bags. You can write a quotation, you can select pictures. So it's a very interesting way to give an uncommon present, okay, for someone's birthday. Do you like the idea of giving a different love it, okay? Sometimes we don't know what to buy. We want the gift to be special, customized. We want it to have a meaning. So with this idea, you can get all the free options all together in one single gift, okay? And then the last part, okay, of our presentation is to tea-related idioms. I don't know if you already know some idioms with tea. Idioms are sentences that you can't translate into your own language because they're very different. So any ideas of idioms with tea? Sorry. Any ideas? It's not my cup of tea. Okay, this is the most common, and it is used when you describe something that is not your taste. So if you say, I don't want to watch Disney series, Disney movies, okay, it's not my cup of tea, so it's not my passion, it's not something I like. Any other ideas of tea-related idioms? You can also just write no if you don't have any ideas. A storm in a cup of tea, yes, you can use it. Okay, so this is the anticipating, okay, the one I've selected for you. So as you can see here, we have a cup and we have a storm, and this idiom is used, and this is the exact translation of what to say and what to use. So if you say a storm in a teacup, you refer to a person who is getting angry for no apparent important reasons. So if you say, for example, don't overreact, come on, it was just a broken vase, I will replace it, okay? You can say, don't overreact, it's just a storm in a teacup. So nothing important, okay? Nothing relevant that may justify why you're so angry, okay? So this is a storm in a teacup. And the second one, any ideas just by looking at the picture? How would you describe this picture? Because the idiom is exactly what the picture is. How do you call the recipient that is used to put turning chocolate into tea there? So how do you call the container that is used to boil water or just to contain teapot? Okay, that's perfect. And what's the material of this teapot? The teapot is okay. I like your originality. You're making up very interesting idioms. So what's the material of the teapot? Chocolate, right? It's made of chocolate. Okay, yes, usually it's china, okay, or porcelain or ceramic. But in this case, referring to the picture, we have chocolate, right? So we have a chocolate teapot. Yes? Okay, so if you say that you are useful as a chocolate teapot, you're just saying that you are useless. So a chocolate teapot is not possible to be used because it would melt. Yes, because it melts. So if you describe a situation saying that you are as useful as a chocolate teapot, you are saying the opposite, okay? So it's very ironic, okay, in usage. And to give you an example, I can ask, is your husband going to help you with the chores, with the housework? And I can reply, you must be joking. When it comes to hard work, is as much, okay, useful as a chocolate teapot. Makes sense how to use it? Would you like me to repeat? If you want, I can also type it in the chat if you want to have dialogue. Andy? No? Is that okay? Okay, so just to go very quickly, okay, to revise together what we have been doing since now. So what was the discussion about? We have seen different traditions. We have seen different flavors, names of companies producing tea. We have discussed about traditions of how to take tea like a British person, and also we have just have a very short voyage journey around literature and music, because there is also a lot of music songs different that speaks about tea. So just take a look at that. And then remember, you have to post a photo of you and your favorite mug in which you describe maybe the reason why is it your favorite. This is a sort of tradition when people go abroad. You come back and you have bought a lot of mugs and you can have a collection of different mugs. So I'm interested in what is the story behind your mug. Thank you.
Okay, Gloria, thank you so much. I really feel like having a good cup of tea now before dinner. Okay, instead of the spritz we usually have when we can go out tonight, and I'm gonna have a good cup of tea. Thank you. Ok, bene, domani, adesso ve lo dico in tedesco questa cosa, se mi riesce. Ich weiß nicht, Valentina ist vielleicht da. Morgen haben wir ein Treffen auf Deutsch. Morgen backen wir Apfelstrudel und Brezel. Ok? Vedo anche tanti studenti di tedesco babino, vedo Marco che tenta di nascondersi dietro il sorride.
Apprezziamo invece la webcam accesa, che sembra di essere più in gruppo.
Esatto. Domani alle 6:30, ecco, abbiamo questo incontro con la nostra Valentina, insegnante di tedesco, che ci insegnerà insomma come fare il vero brezel e il vero Apfelstrudel, seguendo le ricette tradizionali.
Che poi abbiamo Valentina collegata, vorrei dire.
Ma infatti l'ho intravista.
Hai fatto lo sborone.
Sì, ecco, guarda, ha scritto adesso ja richtig. Ok, aspetta Valentina, se vuoi, adesso non ti riesco a individuare tra la lista.
Ja,
oh,
da bin ich.
Bist du da, ok.
Ich bin da.
Good. Ecco, non ci sarà il tempo, adesso ti presento, volevo dire a chi parteciperà che, visto i lunghi tempi di preparazione di queste due ricette, non sarà come i brownies fatti da Sara, non avremo modo di farli insieme perché non si riesce insomma a rimanere all'interno della mezz'ora, 40 minuti concordata, però ovviamente poi potrete, seguendo le indicazioni di Valentina, farli, prepararli e condividerli attraverso immagini senza barare, ok? Quindi immagini originali. Valentina, ti presento ai presenti, dove se non ti trovo con la telecamera, ma insomma, se vuoi dare l'appuntamento in un tedesco decisamente migliore del mio per domani.
Sì, prima di tutto saluto Gloria e tutti quelli che ci sono qui questa sera. Niente, domani faremo appunto, come ha già detto Riccardo, i brezel e l'apfelstrudel. E vi aspetto tutti numerosi perché ci sono anche un po' di giochetti e di indovinelli che vi farò fare, quindi insomma domani 18:30 tutti
Guarda,
collegati.
già come hai detto tu, brezel e Apfelstrudel fa venire più voglia di assaggiarli, quindi vedremo poi cosa succederà domani. D'accordo, grazie a tutti.
Ciao a tutti, un buon
proseguimento. Buona serata.
Grazie a tutti, buona
Grazie
serata.
grazie mille.
Ciao a tutti.
Ciao.
Ciao, grazie.
Grazie mille.
Ciao, Felice.